There, guys. Oh shit. And I
Yeah.
I retract. I retract.
All right. Welcome back,
Well,
everybody, to
well
the
said,
next
Jeff.
episode. Yeah,
That's a
of
great
Tilton
start.
the Scale. Yeah, we're off to a great start. Thanks, Chet. Appreciate that. Well, we're here now, so let's start with you, Chet. How was your week? How's everything been going?
Everything's been hunky dory. No problems. Everything's been great.
Nice. How's the weather up there?
That's today.
For today. Today's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids and I, we have a tradition. Like once my car says 75, whether it is or not, we open the moonroof. Today we open the moonroof.
Nice. It was 75. Jeez, it was barely 75 here today, so that's good. Good. I'm glad you guys are having some good weather. Wally, how's everything been this week?
Busy week. It's been good. It's been beautiful weather. The snow is pretty much gone. There's a couple like nooks and crannies here and there, but it's gone. Things are drying up. My yard's a mess. I got to get on it. Good. Life's good. Been very busy. It's been busy. Like I said, baseball and softball season are full speed ahead. Flag football starts again on Sunday, so we're busy. Busy,
Nice,
busy,
that's good.
busy. But I love this time of year, right? Like the flowers are all starting to blossom. Daffodils are coming up. They'll be blossoming here within the next week, I assume. Things are starting to green out. This is a beautiful time of year. It's muddy as shit, but we that's part of the gig, right?
You don't mind getting dirty, Wally? You don't mind getting
I
dirty?
like it. I
It's
mean,
no
who
big
doesn't like
deal.
getting playing in the mud a little bit? I have a truck. Like, if you're gonna have a truck, you might as well get it muddy.
That's what they say.
Nice.
That's what they say. All right, Tim, how's your week been?
Yeah, good. Another report, man. Just uh steady as she goes, working on various things, ignoring other things. Uh Celebrating my daughter's birthday. She just got her permit, so
Oh
that's
Nice.
my
gonna be
goodness.
exciting.
Good, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
She can barely reach the pedals. I mean, she's like the steering wheel's in her stomach. She's a tiny little thing. She's barely 5 feet.
She's like short round on Indiana Jones. You got to tie a
Yes.
block to the accelerator and the
Yeah,
brakes so that she...
exactly.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
How
That's
is she,
pretty
is she a
cool,
good
man.
driver? How'd she compare to the boys?
She hasn't gotten behind the wheel yet. Well, last year we went out to Utah and we were driving on this dirt road in the middle of nowhere going to a slot canyon. And so I just pulled over. It's like, Hazy, jump in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So she got there's nobody there so she was just putzing down the road and instantly she goes into character. She's like, all right, now sit back, give mama some num nums, or she's just messing around. It was really funny.
That's cool.
She's gonna do well.
Good.
That should be
Good.
fine. She'll make her own
Yeah.
way. I like that.
She will. She will be just fine. My week's been good. Been doing some like kind of life hacks slash life changes or going back to things that I used to do and I haven't done in a while. One was at night I write down things that I'm grateful for and then go to sleep, wake up in the morning, intentionally read it while I'm brushing my teeth, etc. to like again to go to bed in a positive mindset, wake up in a positive mindset, and be grateful and have gratitude. So been doing that, and that's kind of a game changer if you don't do it for a while.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
What
and
do you
everything else has been
experience?
good. Huh?
Like, how is it? How what have you experienced as being different?
I just again go I feel like I subconsciously I guess I sleep better and don't I'm not anxiously thinking about things
Hmm.
and then I wake up just with a positive mindset, I guess. Not
Yeah.
necessarily again, not just being anxious about things that I need to get done, but not being upset about little things that I know are going to affect me throughout the day in my
Yeah.
interactions. So, yeah. So that's me in a nutshell. And everything else is good. Get to see the grandkids for Easter. That was great. My my daughter and they just sent me a bunch of pictures because they went to go see the in-laws, but we had ours separately on the Friday before that, before we talked to Fred. So that was good, and it was cool to see my grandson and my son-in-law dressed identically. It was pretty cool. I like little things like that, so a
Yeah.
little nostalgic. So yeah. All right, well, let's get started. What do we want to talk about? You guys had some topics. I got nothing but sports, and then if we want to revisit the Fred Caruso conversation, we can talk about social media. Those two posts pretty much blew up. There was over like 3,000 views for both of them, so
Hmm.
looks good for us.
Yeah,
Which two?
nice.
The
You
one
posted
that
three.
Fred shared, intentionally shared, and then
Yeah.
plugged, and then the let me see. I had it up. Let me see.
Good talk, everybody.
The conversation about the home run derby that we
Nice.
specifically had. The one the week before, the one the week before that where I plugged or I should say before Fred came on, when I talked about when I had the belt out and talked about the home run derby that Fred shared,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
that spawned me to burned me to invite him on and see if he was available. So yeah, those two are over 3,000. So
Hmm.
and we got another one that's at 1,500.
Nice.
That's the one about the question that I asked him about how he evaluates himself at the end of the season, his coaching evaluation. So looks pretty good, man. I'm happy. I'm happy. There's a couple in the low thousands, breaking 1,000 probably by the end of the week. But yeah, happy. We're trending. We're trending. All right. Do we
Glad to
want
hear
to
it.
talk
Rocket
about
ship.
Iran and the Strait of Hormuz and all the stuff
Yeah,
that's
I
going
do.
on, or what?
I
What do
do.
we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, somebody started.
Yeah, it's bad. It's all bad. All right,
But
next topic.
continue.
I
What do you
mean,
Well,
mean
I
by
mean,
what do you mean by bad, and what
does
specifically?
anybody does anybody is anybody happy with how things are going over there? Like, are they saying, yeah, that's a job well done, well thought out, well planned, well executed?
I am more on that side of things.
Do you?
Yeah.
I guess I have a hard time seeing it that way.
Hmm.
I don't think it was. I mean, again, and we've been over this again, so I feel like I'm beating a dead horse to a certain extent. But I would think we had an administration that campaigned largely on staying out of foreign conflicts. And again, it feels like they just started a massive one.
Yep.
And they also got elected primarily on fiscal responsibility and
Yep.
then dropped $30 trillion, however many dollars on a war that doesn't seem to have really changed much at this point. I think we're right back in the same spot.
Swear to God, I swear to God, next election, I'm gonna wear a tank top and do something that tells me I'm strong white man with tattoos, and this is why you should vote for Trump. I swear to God, because that's what happened. And if you listen to every podcast, the one we talked about actually, Sean Ryan and Joe Kent, that's what
Yep.
happens. It's like
Yep.
these
Yep.
Democrats, these pansies who are all about the transgenders. Let's get them out of the way. God, they suck. But now they're having voter regret every second of every day because their loved ones are being lost. The people they're sending into war are being lost every single day
So,
because
Chet,
some guy, Tim, I got you. I trust you'll say something, but I'm telling you, some guy decided like I understand how the world works. I'm smarter than everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and say, this is what happens. This is where we go. This is what we're doing. And then, damn it. Like every one of us said, except for we're Democrats, we're the problem. It happened.
well, Chet,
hmm,
how, do you know how many lives? One is too many, but how many lives have been lost in this conflict, Chet?
So Joe Kent, to his credit, says he doesn't know. He was like, I don't know. And because he doesn't, no one
Well,
knows for
let's
sure.
let's 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 just go off of what the media is reporting for right now. What's the number?
I don't know.
Are you talking American lives or total lives?
I was assuming that Chet
American.
was talking about American, but
because I
Were you
think both are
talking about
relevant.
American or just?
I think both are relevant numbers.
Yeah, I think all lives are relevant numbers. Like it's been this has been awful. This is not necessary.
Last I
So
heard was like 12. I was like
it's
12, 14. It
13.
was it was something like that. It was a
Yeah,
very low number of Americans killed.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty unbelievable when
It
you
really
Well,
is
consider
unbelievable.
when you can.
I just want to know, why Chet's so fired up about it and he doesn't even know the number. That's
Because
kind
I
of my
listened to the
point. Like,
podcast. You told me to listen to the podcast. I listened to it. I heard every word and I was like, okay, now I understand the geopolitical situation. Now that I understand that, it makes me really mad.
Mm,
no, there's a lot to unpack for sure, but I don't,
I'm-
again, I'd rather do what we're doing and than have war show up on our doorstep. So,
mm,
I mean, one life is too many,
yeah,
but I'll
I'm
stack
curious.
bodies all day as long as our numbers are good. Like as long as their dead bodies outnumber ours for sure.
Yeah,
Like I'm good with that.
I'm
You
curious.
don't see a long term flaw in that philosophy. Like if we're now the world's enforcer and have to kill anybody who opposes us or who could even potentially oppose us, is that the threshold? Not what they've done, is what they could do. That's an easily manipulated outcome, right? Because I can assume
Yes,
when you start assuming intent, I think it's a dangerous game to play.
it is.
I'm
But
wondering why you think that the intent was assumed
What do you
on
mean?
Iran on Iran's
Help
part. Why
us,
do you
help
think
us.
that their intent was assumed?
I said so Nate was saying we were stacking bodies. So we're
Right.
stacking bodies to prevent them attacking. But
Yeah.
has Iran directly attacked us?
Yeah.
Where?
They attacked the embassy. They took people hostage back in the 70s. They bombed the U.S. barracks.
yeah,
Um,
they're responsible for
that
six deaths at a
they are
minimum.
the head. They sponsor state terror, Hezbollah, Hamas. They so I'm. They also are working. They were working towards a nuke. What we know, I mean, they enrich uranium to like 60%, and we're like for nuclear power, it's like 4 or 5% that's needed. They've openly said they're going to eradicate Israel. If they get a nuke, the possibilities of the endless harm that they could do is I think it's certainly worth considering.
For sure. And
But
this
you
is
didn't
why
see that
Nate
going anywhere. You're like, oh, they're never going to get a nuke. That's not something we should think about.
This is why Nate will never send me a podcast again. Because I heard the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing. And you know what happened? I found out that there's a lot of Americans who have certain situations going on with like, oh, enriching uranium means a nuke. But for the most part, we had them down to like, there's no nuke. Joe Kent, your hero, is
My hero.
he's literally saying to you, we're in a war for no reason because the media said they're going to have a nuke because they enrich uranium, but that's not the case
What are the other reasons to enrich uranium to that extent?
because it's a simple diplomatic situation. Like, let us have this, then you have this.
But what's the answer to my question? What's the purpose of enriching uranium to that extent?
Yes, to make a nuclear bomb. But we had all these inspectors in there. We had everybody in there. Like they had nothing. Someone like you,
A-
Tim,
a-
though, goes like,
Apart
oh,
apart
what?
from 60% uranium enrichment and working towards ballistics and ICBMs, apart from that, you're right. They absolutely had nothing, and it expressed intent that America is the great Satan and that Israel is the little Satan. And so, apart from that, and apart from bombing all the other people in the Middle East, really nothing. You're right.
So sure, Tim. But when you think about Satan, we don't
So
think
why
about
don't
it
the
that way
people in the Middle East? So why don't the people in the Middle East take care of it? Why doesn't Israel take
Okay.
care of it? Why do we have to then go and continue to back up Israel, who's intermittently bombing and invading other countries, only riling things up on the other side? Like, why are we responsible for that?
Because we are co-belligerents in this campaign to a certain extent. We don't have the proximity to Iran that they do, but there is something to be said for having an ally amidst a sea of enemies, all which want to do you harm. So I think that there's certainly some wisdom to that. Geopolitics is not orcs and elves. I mean, there's a lot of intermingling motivations, and it's very complex. And the challenge is not to be too reductionistic. And I know that when we say nukes and things like that, it can really sound reductionistic, but it's a challenging thing. There are competing factors. There's competing uh, uh, goals, and it's not just. Um, I think that being reductionistic, like Israel got us into this war, was playing Trump like a puppet. I think that's extremely reductive. Not that anyone here is saying that necessarily. That's something I frequently hear.
Well, Joe Kent certainly said it.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. And so, wait, you're a supporter of Israel?
Well, that's a very broad statement.
Broad
In what
term.
Yeah,
way
yes,
would I support?
it's very confusing to me, right? So help
Why
me understand
why
that.
why would that be confusing to you?
So Israel fights most of their wars thinking it's like legitimately like God like is telling them to fight this war, right?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what I heard today.
Well,
Wait,
again, that not all Jews are Zionists. You have a number of Jews who, I mean, Israel as Israel
No, I didn't
proper
say
is.
Jews. Oh, back up. I didn't say Jews. I said Israel as a country fights wars based on this like global understanding, spiritual understanding of how things work. I didn't say Jews.
So can you
No,
So,
no,
differentiate
no,
for
no,
me?
no. Israel fights wars because we decided to make a country smack in the middle of people who hate Jewish people, and we took over where they had been living for hundreds of thousands of years or thousands of years, however long, and said, okay, now they live here, and the people who were there currently, who were there before, aren't very happy about that, obviously, and they've been at conflict, and they were at conflict long before Israel was a country there as well. So it's not
Yeah,
like this is nothing new to that area,
sure.
but. I mean that certainly is a major factor, and Israel has had to be on the defensive ever since because they get the shit bombed out of them. They're in the middle of a hostile, like
Yeah. So is it Chet, to answer your question, I support some things that Israel does, just like I support some things that Trump does. I support some things that you say. I support some things. I, so again, this sort of like all in, all out. Are we not allowed to be nuanced
no,
about
that's
these
why
kinds
I
of
love
things?
Joe Kent. I love Joe Kent. What I heard in that podcast helped me reaffirm my faith in America. Because he was like, hey, man, I don't know what's happening here. Trump has certain people in his orbit, and certain people are saying, get out of his orbit. I support Donald Trump, not me, but Joe Kent saying that. I support Donald Trump, but I also don't know all these things that are happening. What I loved about it was that it wasn't partisan. It was, I want the best thing for America that could ever happen. And I disagree with Joe Kent on almost everything, but
Mhm.
he was true to himself, had integrity, and said, like, this is what I think is happening. And I will not answer your question. I will not answer your question with, yes, I believe this, or no, I don't believe this until I know the facts. Love that guy. I learned that. That's who I am. And so I respect that guy. That guy should be president, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
it was a good interview. I agree.
it
It was
was a good
amazing.
interview. Yeah,
That's why
it was a good interview.
Maybe Nate will never send me one again.
No,
It's interesting.
I mean,
It's interesting. I mean, he was a higher echelon. I mean, he was a department head. I mean, this was a big deal.
yeah.
It,
He doesn't agree. He even said it himself. He doesn't agree with the reasons that were there, but that doesn't mean that he's not steadying his resolve to go into conflict, to fight, and to,
He did.
again, stack
sure.
bodies. Like that's a real thing. And he was pretty upfront about, again, he doesn't agree with why we're there, but he also didn't, and I don't like that we're doing the heavy lifting for Israel. Like again, in order for them to come up with targets to fire missiles at that are in Iran, that's our boots on the ground that are doing that. Our clandestine CIA agents or somebody getting intelligence back to whoever needs to create that. And then I, again, I wonder what is Israel bringing to the table? I like we're big brother for sure, and they're little brother, but they're the ones that are causing the fight, so to speak. We
Yeah.
Well,
supported them from the
we don't
beginning.
forget what led up to all this is that Israel had gone head to head with Hezbollah and weakened the entire territory, took out the
Yep,
Hezbollah leaders with their beeper attacks, and so uh, they
yep,
preempted the entire thing by weakening the
for
regime.
sure. Yep. Yes, they absolutely did do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's
I
the
mean,
conversation
again,
leading up to that?
they have a dog in the fight for sure. And
Yeah,
I think we should side with them if Iran is not our ally and we want to stop a country from gaining nuclear capabilities. I definitely, again, I think that we're in it for the right reasons. How we're doing it, I don't necessarily agree with us, the money that we spent and the way that we're doing it. Essentially, we're helping them, which is what we should be doing, but I don't see what we're getting in return.
Listen, in good conscience, can you not understand the president, your president, is like
Our
saying, I would
president.
just take all the oil. I would take all the oil. I could make a lot of money. These are all real shit that this guy is saying. Why do you like him? Like, I love
Hey,
you guys. I don't
it's
understand why you like
it's
him.
He posted praise Allah on Easter.
Yeah, he said a
He said
it's
praise
our
civilization.
it's
Allah on
our
Easter.
it's our president. If you don't like it, you can
I
exit the
said that.
country anytime you
Yeah,
want to.
but
well, I
what
mean,
about what a
we know that was
civilization is going to die tonight? A civilization is going to die tonight.
mhm.
That's your guy. That's your fucking guy. That's the guy you pick. I
I
don't
mean,
understand.
So do
and
You guys
then
don't understand.
you want me to
and then
respond to that?
and then
Yeah, sorry,
conceded
sorry.
on every major point.
I'll bring it down. Sorry, Tim. I'm gonna
Do you want me to respond to that?
yes.
I
To
do.
the
Yeah, I'd like to
Okay.
specific
hear some.
thing where he said a civilization is
Yeah.
gonna die tonight.
Yeah. So first thing is um, I'm not going to defend that asinine statement that he just made.
Okay.
I think that it was in poor taste. I think that it was ridiculous. Whatever kind of
Immature.
adjective you want to talk to it, attached to it. Do I think he was serious about that? Literally, no, I don't think that at all. I mean, as evidenced by the fact that one of the reasons he said he was going to get into Iran is because Iran was killing its own citizens
He's
to
the
the tune of
president.
30 to
He's the
40,000.
president.
So,
He's the
no,
president.
yeah, yeah. Well, come on, he said death to America. So,
Yeah, fuck that
what?
guy. Fuck that guy. Exactly. Fuck that guy.
This is a family show, Chet.
It's not though. It's not. It's just us. Fuck that guy. That's why we don't do it. We're better because we don't say that shit. We don't
Who,
do that stuff.
who's we?
Yeah, I
America,
was just gonna
Tim.
ask that. Who's we?
America. We don't do that shit.
You just said fuck that
Wally,
guy.
am I ever
You
doing it?
just said f that guy.
No, you know what
What
I'm
do you
doing.
mean
I
you
mean, but
don't?
you think back to like famous speeches that people still recite from Lincoln and like John F. Kennedy and like these great orators of the history. And we have a president who just fucking tweeted praise Allah on Easter. And like this is our legacy. And this is the image we're putting forward to the world. And you guys seem to be embracing it, which is fine. I don't choose to want to project a worldview of a guy who's saying stupid shit that nobody really believes.
Yeah.
Like he says, everything he says is so outlandish that like we don't really think that's going to happen. I don't think that like so. It's like, all right, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? That's not a good thing. We shouldn't be celebrating that.
I'm not celebrating it. It reminds me of a guy that used to be on ESPN named Herman Edwards. And
Oh,
he said when you get on your Twitter account, go ahead and type it up, but then reread it, and more than half the time you will say to yourself, "Don't hit send,"
Yeah,
because it's a
I
poor choice, and that's
I think
definitely.
I think this might be one of the cases where the proof's in the pudding. I know um, the last stats I heard from Republicans about Trump's actions in Iran is that something like 90% of Republicans approve of it. So I know that 50% at least of the people I'm talking to are not Republicans. So that doesn't really matter to you. But I think that does go as far to say that there it's not like he's divorced from his base. The base that voted for him based on his platform are still in agreement with what he's doing. Now, having said that, there are some Republicans, um, commentators that I respect who do not agree with this war, and they think like, well, what was the point and all that. And I think there's a legitimate point to be made there for sure.
So it's funny you say 90%, and I don't question that. I do question it, but I question every statistic I hear because they
You
90%
shouldn't.
of them are bullshit. So I don't. I'm
Even
not trying to offend your
that
statistic. I just.
perspective, even that perspective.
But I find that hard to believe when I'm finding like very visual and vocal opposition, a la Joe Rogan, a la um,
Kent.
Joe Kent, the guy that interviewed Joe Kent, your buddy there, Nate. I can't think of
Sean.
his name right
Sean
now.
Ryan.
Sean
Sean Ryan.
Ryan
I love
is
Sean Ryan.
it's vocal. It's vocal against it. I think people in his own party starting to erode. So 90% surprises me because that's a big part of their Republican base right now, and those are very Tucker Carlson. It doesn't seem to be very much in favor of what's going on currently.
I'm not
You
very
guys
much in
lost.
favor of Tucker
You
Carlson's.
lost Marjorie Taylor Greene, and like I don't know how you're going to recover from that.
How do you lose her? She was like, Trump is everything. Trump was
They
right
lost
with
her. They
everything.
lost her. They lost
Bro,
her. She's gone. She's not coming back. Well,
our
that's not
Sean
true.
our
Ryan,
bench our
Sean
bench
Ryan,
is
by the
gonna
way,
our
Sean
bench is
Ryan was
gonna
getting
go.
more angry. The whole Joe Kent interview, like Nate, thank you for saying that to me. Thank you. Because I heard the whole thing and I was like, holy shit. Joe Kent said, hey, no, Sean Ryan said, we were responsible for a lot of voters voting for Trump. And now I am realizing I fucked up because they voted for this guy who they thought he was, and he's not that guy.
Hmm.
And us as Democrats, and this is my fault. I'm gonna find a way. I swear to God, I'm gonna get tattoos. I'll do whatever the fuck I have to do. Like it's because I am who I am that no one will fucking listen to me. I'm telling you, I saw this coming not only this term, the
Well,
last term.
well,
The
Chet,
guy is a businessman. Hold
let
on,
me
Tim,
make a
Tim, Tim, let me
suggestion.
say this. The guy's
Okay.
a fucking businessman. He has
The
yes
business
men,
is booming.
and if he doesn't have yes men around him, he's gonna shoot them out.
You guys
If you
seen the
don't,
money his sons are making?
right. If you don't have yes men around you, you find a way to push them out.
Well,
If
may
you're the
make a
president of the United
suggestion.
States,
A
if you're the
suggestion
president,
when you're tattooing your body with whatever you're going to tattoo on it, um, maybe talk your own platform into not taking a stand on trans and kids and things like that, because that's certainly not a crowd pleaser,
no,
national.
it's not.
But
It's
yeah,
not.
it's
That's not my
still
platform.
it's
Mine is, let's go ahead and make sure that everybody in America has a fair chance. Mine is, let's go ahead and make sure no one has to feel poor or like they are like thrown out because they are bullshit, because they are nothing to somebody. That's my platform.
so you want the
So,
government to make sure people feel loved. Just want to make sure I
no,
understand that.
no. I want to make sure that some dad at a kitchen table is able to say to his kids, I can provide for you, and no one's going to stop me from doing that. That's what I need.
You
That's all
you
I
need a
need.
dad at the table first.
I'm sorry, what?
I said you need a dad at the table first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Well,
That's your win.
kind of
That's
along
what
the lines of the topic that we're talking about, Joe Kent also said
let's go.
the
This is the best podcast
the
ever.
he said the elected officials are feel like they answer to or are working for their boss as opposed to working for the constituents that voted them into office. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on
So
that? Do you
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like all of go ahead, Wally.
No, I think I've talked about this on this podcast because it's been a stump I've been on for decades. But we need to look at the way our campaigns are currently financed because they're all on a national stage. You're always running for reelection. So
Mhm.
they're not answering to their voters. You can send as many forum letters as you want. It's the millions of dollars they're being donated by these corporations or by these entities or by these MPACs and all these other, like, that's the issue.
Yeah,
And until we try fund, and I think this is a fairly, um, I think most people agree with this, right? Like, I find this not to be
I
a
do. Yeah.
partisan issue, that like we have an issue with our national campaigns, and the money that is spent on these national campaigns is disgusting. So I think if we can start there, and again, that's, you want to talk something that's got high percentage. I don't know many people that disagree with that.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you would need the people that you're talking about to vote themselves out of power in a
That's
certain
right.
way,
That's
which
right.
is right, which is the challenge.
They
Same
won't
thing
even
with
they won't
turnout.
even outlaw insider trading.
Tim, is
It's
that
literally
challenge?
legal
Hey,
to.
what are you complaining about? You're making money off it, man.
I mean, that's
The
fair.
joke came. I'm not making this up. When I heard this, Nate, thank you, by the way. Nate, thank
I
you.
don't feel guilty about that.
I wouldn't either.
I heard that the OnlyFans guy
Huh?
was one of the biggest supporters of the Republican campaign to make sure that Donald Trump gets elected. You guys hear that on the podcast that you all
Huh?
sent me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's fucked up. So some
What happened?
guy, Tim, this guy who's like, okay, women everywhere doing all their stuff, which guys love. That guy was the one of the biggest supporters for the Trump campaign, and they accepted that money. So like, I don't know how that makes sense. I mean, I do. I actually absolutely. Can I rewind? I
If we
Well, no,
absolutely know how that makes
that's
sense.
left field thing. It's a free speech, right? It's a bastion of free speech. Your argument, you can make an argument that platforms like OnlyFans provide an avenue by which for people. And I'm not saying I agree with this, but like, if there's an adult that wants to sell themselves in that capacity, I mean,
I don't care about that.
is that
that,
not their choice?
I
I'm
mean,
not talking morality, but
No,
like,
I don't care
for
about that. I'm
sure.
saying, they were big supporters of Donald Trump. They were big supporters of the Republican
yeah,
campaign, is what I'm saying.
I
Well,
mean,
So like,
they're both
look,
corrupt. That's
yeah, they
yeah.
both are. Look, I don't think Thomas Jefferson and George Washington were sitting around thinking about freedom of speech. And like, I definitely want girls to be in their undies in mincing steps in their living room. That's definitely what they were thinking about.
Yeah.
I
well
mean, they
done,
were thinking
Tim.
about half the
Well
issues that we're
done.
currently dealing with, but
But Tim, did
here
you
we
hear the
are,
whole
right?
thing?
Huh?
Did you hear the whole thing?
I didn't listen to it.
Joe Kent is like, I will. That dude knows when to say, I don't know.
Uh,
Smart
okay,
dude.
it's one guy's
Somehow,
perspective.
again,
I
yeah, somehow I feel like I knew Chet was going to be the one person that will just be like, "Thank you for proving me right. Thank you. I've been saying this the whole time." And it's not like we've been disagreeing with you. We just because we can't, honestly, because most of it's
yeah.
fact. But I didn't think you'd be the proud so-called Dem slash conservative that stands up
No,
and
it just
Yes, you
shows an
did.
erosion. It just
yeah.
shows an erosion. It's a pendulum coming back. It's going to
It
be
is. That's all it
the
is.
blues going to
That's all
win
it is.
heavily in the midterm election, based
Well, I
largely on
don't.
the gas prices and other things like that.
Wait,
Like,
but
that's just what
Nate,
happens.
what would you have hoped for?
This is what happens.
What would you have hoped for when you
Well,
said it to me?
we're having conversation about it, but
Yeah.
you being condescending and like
What?
humorous about it, it's just it's right up the alley with the side that you're on,
I'm
to be
not trying
honest
to be
with you.
condescending.
It's
I'm
par
just
for
like,
the course. Par for the course. It's okay. You can be you can be,
Yeah, no,
humble and yet celebratory,
yeah.
but like
Yeah, I
I don't
guess
know.
most conservatives are so kind. I mean, how they've been attacking liberals as snowflake. Like, throw. I mean, they're just as horrible to the left as the left is to the right.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
they are. I'm saying, I'm just talking about we, the people that are on my
Okay,
screen.
let me.
I'm not
I
talking
love
about
you guys.
they.
I love you guys. I'm just telling you. I've said this since 2002.
why are you being so
Great.
coy?
2002, is that what you said?
No.
Wasn't it earlier than that? Jeez, man. My gosh. Like, you just broke my heart, man. I, I've been living a lie.
2002. So it was 4 years past high school graduation.
The first time I remember talking to you guys about politics, 2002, and I talked to Nate, and Nate was like, "Man, I just came back from the military," and I was like, "What can I do for you?" I remember that.
Yeah,
And
great.
we didn't really talk politics back then.
No, I don't
I
think
don't
I
we
did.
did.
remember
Well, I
us
did.
talking politics
I
in high
did.
school. I really don't recall that.
I
No,
I
don't
didn't
really
do it.
feel
we
like
did
I
not.
had my political awakening, I think in probably like 2015 or 14 or something. I didn't really pay
Yeah,
attention to anything.
yeah.
I probably
I
haven't had
don't.
a
I
political
don't have any
awakening.
recollection of the four of us talking politics anytime in high school.
No.
Like like it just doesn't. It never came up.
The only president we talked about was Vince McMahon.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
A
having full.
worthy, and it was worthy praise as well. Worthy praise. Like, yeah, I don't think I've had my political awakening, really. I just,
Well, I
I
don't mean
formed
like
some opinions, but like,
yeah, I just mean like I'm paying attention to things and uh you know have at
Just
least
checking.
I started
Did I say
parroting what it
1998 or 2002?
you said 2002,
Okay, just checking.
but it should have been like, 1987. But anyway.
I think I don't know if you want to keep talking about this, but I think uh the it's going to be the proof's in the pudding. I think if this is a, a quickly ended war under 3 months, I think that generally people, particularly even the Republicans who are not super thrilled about it, are going to be like, that was a good move. If it is protracted or if the objectives are not clearly um, met, particularly with like who's in power, I think there's going to be some frustration.
Yeah, I think our the news media cycle is 24/7, right? Like, so when something happens, we, the people of America, want to know exactly what's going on. And the government, our current government, doesn't feel the need to inform the people of certain things because the people in America don't understand, OPSEC. Like, there's things that are classified, and it takes a while for those classified documents to become redacted or things taken out of them so that they can be repeated in a unclassified manner. So, when we learn about a pilot that's gone down and then how we rescue them, like, literally the process of how we do those things should not be put out in public arena.
Yeah,
It can be talked
agreed.
Yeah.
about that the action happened and this is what happens, but
But
I think
why? But
most
why
of
not? Why
Well,
not?
the hard part is we live in such a digital world where, like, whether or not you want to talk about it, there's chances are there's going to be a video of it. There's certainly going to be a video of all the negative aspects of it. So you'd be foolish not to try to get ahead of the narrative because the story's going to be out there whether you want it to be or not, and it's going to be out there in an instant. It's going to be uploaded on everyone's cell phone. I mean, people in the bush of Africa have cell phones, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Like everyone's filming shit 24/7. So
yeah,
like from a PR perspective, you better get out there ahead of the narrative because the narrative dictates so much. We're talking back to finance and campaigns and all that shit. If you don't tell the
yeah.
story, somebody else will, and that's the worst case scenario for you.
Exactly.
mhm.
Worst case scenario. Yep.
No, I disagree.
Um,
Let them figure it out. Meaning, somebody takes a video. The video is good enough quality to where they can see a tail number on that helicopter, and they can make out identifying markings on that helicopter. Let them take the time and spend the resources to do that. Let's not give that to them. Let's not give them that information. Let's not give them that information about the operation that is currently ongoing. You know what I mean? Like they don't need they
Sure,
have their
sure.
own intelligence resources and collections,
Like,
you know,
In that
processes.
scenario, yes. In that
yeah,
scenario, yes.
I agree. Don't give out information that's going to put American lives at risk. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to argue that. You're 1,000% correct. But I still think you can achieve some level of like not transparency necessarily, but open dialogue, communication about what's going on, and not give away that level of information.
Uh, yes, yeah. So
And I
when
think you
we're
have to.
talking,
I think it's
but
your
when we're talking
responsibility,
about,
frankly.
but when we're talking about doing that at an elevated level, as somebody that talks to the national media, if that person's talking about it, 30 people down the line are talking about it and
I
also
agree.
giving that information to their source. And then some people are probably that were in a classified brief that know that they're not supposed to say this, forget that they were in a classified brief for the information, and then
I
then
agree.
then the information gets out. So the less of that we do while we're in conflict, I feel like it benefits American lives first and foremost. So
I
again,
agree.
the news cycle exists 24/7. So like the American public and the American people want that information, but they're not deserving of it. The people that have been in the military that understand how these things work understand no one should be talking about this. And there are many reasons why. And the most important ones is that American lives are at stake. So,
But
and future operations are at stake that we haven't even planned or conducted yet, you know? So,
yeah, but Democrats are the elitists, right? We don't deserve that information.
Yeah, no,
Let's not fucking forget.
we're the
Let's
worst.
not forget that they work for us, right? I mean, we're the taxpayers, just like the DHHS works
yes,
for us, and just
we're all paying for
like
those
all these other
bullets and
entities,
those missiles.
we're all paying for that shit.
We
So
are.
there's got to be some level of
Tons of
transparency
fucking
and
money.
open dialogue
Yeah.
about how our money's being spent. If we have to do it in every other domain, that you should be able to do it from a military perspective without giving up again information that's going to harm American lives. I agree with that.
Yeah. Protect
Well, did you see the general that briefed like logistics, like how much coffee's being consumed, how many energy drinks since the operation has kicked off? Did you see
I'm
that?
sorry. Is that germane to the national security? I'm sorry.
No, but I'm saying that
I'm
is
glad you brought up
information that we can
generals.
that is
I
information that we can put out there and is also, somewhat pertinent on a humorous level, but like again, the American public, it's like what do you think you need the information that you need? Well, here's some information. You tell me if you need it or not. Since operations have kicked off, we've consumed 950,000 gallons of coffee, like do you we're being transparent. Again, it's a
no,
humorous
I
way.
think it should
It's
be. Hey, we took out their we took out their president. We took out the defense minister. We took out this other. I mean, I think there should be open dialogue to that level. Yes, if we did a military uh, exercise
strike,
that
yeah.
decapitated the regime, we should know about that. I think that's
But
a legitimate thing to know
I,
about because we're going
I'm
to hear
just
about it from
curious.
them.
Man, I'm just curious. I feel like I knew about it the day after it happened. I mean, what have you,
I
were you
agree.
not on top of that?
No, it's
Yeah,
not it's
absolutely.
not that information, that news, that is news or headline worthy news, right? Or
Okay.
information. I'm talking about again like the current operations, and I don't think that we should say we hit this place, we hit that place, we hit that place. The Iran doesn't need to, again, be given more information to say, oh, it came from the United States. Well, where are their missile batteries with the capabilities? Because they have intel too. Like we don't want to give out that information, meaning we hit this place, we hit this place, we hit this place, the target locations. We don't need to be giving out that information. Same with, again, tactical knowledge of the operation that allowed them to save an American life that was a down pilot. Like we don't need to be giving that information out, but the American public seems to think that they deserve that. That's what they pay taxes for. Like, I mean,
That's not what they
information,
pay taxes
yes,
for. They
but
they pay taxes to be protected. And if we're doing that well, fine.
yes, and we are.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you agree.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Was that a taunt?
Who agreed? Who agreed? You agreed, Chet? I'm
Well,
glad you agree.
he agreed that it's good to protect America, which is why part of the reason we're in
Mhm.
Iran.
It is,
So,
I
but it
agree with
doesn't
that.
mean
I agree with that.
that we're not that we're not willing to have access to like every information because we're not a bunch of idiots, right?
Yeah, it's just the scrutiny that's portrayed
Nate,
for.
is Jeff trying to get on?
Is he is
Uh,
Jeff?
I don't
Oh
see
my
him.
God. Is Jeff trying to get on?
No,
I
he
don't
was
see
just
him.
texting me. Okay.
no,
Oh
but
my
Tell
God,
wanted
him.
to
let's
see
go.
him.
Tell him it's the same
Let's
one that I
go.
sent him. So
Also,
yeah,
Jeff is right. Um, Nate, Tim, you're wrong about everything. Wally, Chet, right about
Okay,
everything. Are we good with that?
cool. Move on.
no, Chet's not right about everything. No, I'm just kidding. Hmm.
There's no right or wrong
No,
here,
there
right?
is. There is no such thing.
Spoken like
There
a
There's
is
true
no
not.
such
Democrat.
thing.
There is
That's the
not.
issue. That's the issue. It's a continuum. It's not like
I
yeah.
Like Tim, your
Yeah,
family, I protect them.
you
So
do, or
yes,
you
I'm glad, Chet, you found a new hero. Joe Kent's your hero. You know, I do
I
like
didn't
that
say he's my fucking hero.
that he
What? What? Stop it. Stop it. I do like him though.
I do like that he resigned from a position of authority because of his beliefs. Like that's patriotic in
That's
itself. I
false.
mean,
That's
so
false.
do
He
you think
lost
the
his
fact
wife.
that do you think the fact that the FBI was surveilling him for leaked information for months before that had anything to do with it?
That's not true.
no,
They
it
started
is
surveilling
true.
him
It is
after.
true. He's under investigation. But
Yeah, I know he's under
again,
investigation, but it happened. Did you guys not hear the podcast? Did I hear? Am I the only one that heard the podcast
well,
that
tell
you
us
sent
more
to me?
about it.
I
Tell us
mean
more
the
about
FBI
the
is just now
process.
the political wing of
Yeah. So essentially, he resigned, and then suddenly, after he resigned, he was under investigation for leaking information. So that would tell you, wait a minute, if they knew he was leaking information while he was in there, they probably should have started that before he resigned. Like, guys, come on. Come on.
The current administration doesn't do anything right. So why would we
I'm
think
not
anything
saying that.
less?
I'm not saying that.
But
I mean,
the thing is, though, is that
Jeez.
this the story is that the FBI opened an investigation before he leaked this information before he resigned.
Show me
So
proof of that. Show me proof.
how do you want me to show you proof?
I don't know. Send me an article, something.
Okay, I will.
Something. Something
send you an
beyond you
article.
saying it would be great.
it is hard to believe
Well,
that like so
in
now
Tim's
that he's
offense,
come
you do
out
that all the
now that he's
time,
come out
Chet.
that information's leaked out that oh by the way we have oh listen we this guy's full of shit we've been listening to him we've been following him for months okay so why don't you do something about it like
So
like
wait a minute.
like it's a very easy narrative to prove I mean after the fact show us the facts show us the data and I mean I cannot take them at face value that goddamn FBI they fired anyone who's ever come out like spoken anti-Trump anything they're all gone they've weeded out the ranks there's no Democrats left in that establishment they're all gone.
And
Yeah,
Nate, by the way, Nate, I am sorry if I've done the same thing. I feel bad about that if I have. I'm just saying, you sent me this podcast. I listened to the words. We all have the
I
same content
appreciate
we're
it.
talking
I
about.
appreciate it. We do, yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching that episode. I'm glad it inspired you as well.
It did. But like what I'm
You've got
saying is like,
you got the gloves on today. I like it.
oh, I do.
Come out swinging. I like it.
But
I'm
I still love
sending
you
Jeff
boys, no matter
the link.
more than
Oh
anything.
perfect.
More than
Thank you.
anything.
More than anything my
Oh,
ways
you
are
want to do the
short
vibe? You
for
want to do the vibe?
you.
I think you
All
should
right, what's
start every show with a song, Wally.
I agree.
Okay, you got to send me the song though.
Seasons of Love.
Seasons of Love?
Red.
How
Don't you
about shower
don't you
the people with
threaten me
love?
with a good time.
James Taylor.
Seasons of
Sorry.
love.
I know the
Tim,
bass line to that.
Tim, you're on DEI. DEI. Let's go. Let's go. DEI.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, um, I have been thinking about this for a while, because, well, we all kind of have under, I think Obama and Biden, particularly this kind of stuff came to the fore, but it was certainly present before that. Um, and so, uh, having family members who are part of this, as well as given me a lot of opportunities to think about it. I think I'm just so curious about it. I think a lot of us are, and so it's been something that I wanted to understand, like what's kind of behind this sort of DEI thing, and the if you just sort of step back as an observer of culture, like if you imagine yourself coming from 1980 and you show up in 2020 and you just kind of observe what's going on. You have like, wait, this guy thinks he's a woman, everyone's cool with that, and uh, people are getting married to different kinds of things, and you would be justified in being curious as to how it all came about. And so um, it made me think, well, where what are the origins of this kind of this ways of thinking? And I enjoy philosophy. I think philosophy is sort of one of the unsung areas of study, particularly in our universities and high schools. Um, Apart from the fact that um, philosophy is one of the main ways that we seek to understand what it means to be a human, it also has one of the highest body counts in history. I mean, ideas kill people. And so I think it's important to understand where these ideas come from. And philosophies are not like fads, like clothing fads, where you just like toss out what was the spring of last year and you just kind of adopt this new thing. They sort of get ground into the soil, and we the next generation feeds on the tilled philosophies. And so, what are those? When I look at something like DEI, which is really the political expression of a certain way of thinking, what goes into that, into those philosophies? And so um, I wrote down a few thoughts, and I don't want to like bloviate and bludger on for forever. So I'm gonna make this like woefully reductionistic with these certain with these thoughts. So my goal is, how does it come up? How do I get from what I see in America in 2020, 2025? Where were those? Where is that philosophical stew? Where were the ingredients picked up to make that stew? And so these are just some thoughts back in the napkin tabulations. So first, I want to start with Christianity. Christianity revolutionized the way people thought, because one of the ways is that it elevated the victim to a special status. Blessed are the meek, blessed are the poor. I mean, Christian's hero is a slave who was crucified. And so this was antithetical to the Romans, right? They're about power. And so Christianity elevated the victim, if you will, the status of the victim. So I want to take that and I want to put it in my philosophical stew. I don't want to skip forward 15, 1600 years. And the next ingredient I want to look at is a guy named Rene Descartes. We all did our Cartesian coordinates in geography. Descartes was a philosopher. One of his main ideas was that um, truth starts with my ability to truth starts with me as the beginning point. So famously, his line, "I think, therefore I am." This was the result of him trying to defeat all the skeptics around him, and he decided to doubt everything that could not be taken for certain. So he doubted God, he doubted math, he doubted his body, sensations. And the only thing there was, he's like, he almost gave up. He's like, there's nothing left. And he's like, well, there's somebody thinking, so there must be something that exists. So I think, therefore I am. And this uh, was a monumental shift in the way that we thought about things. We went from God as being the starting point to mankind, me being the starting point, whatever I can figure out with my own mind. I am the starting point of truth. The other thing, mind body dualism. He separated the mind and the body. And he said the mind is essentially more true than the body. I'm going to skip forward. My next ingredient is going to be Rousseau in the late 1700s, the French Revolution. Um, he talked about the true authentic self is the inner feelings, how you feel about yourself. And we don't think that that's special today because we do that all the time. That's what it means to be a self, is to be how I feel about myself. But this was totally new for the time. So your true authentic self is inside, and society corrupts that true self. And so we need to, um, the institutions are a threat to authenticity, and they must change to accommodate my authentic self. So I'm going to take that ingredient, I'm going to put it in the pot. Um, Next is a handful of ingredients. You got like Darwin, you got Nietzsche, you got Jean-Paul Sartre. These are all the guys that are like, God is dead, and um, we came from monkeys and such. And so there goes the image of God. Anything sacred about what it means to be a human is gone, right? And if God is dead, we need to figure out our morality. How is it that we're going to um, Nietzsche called Christian morality slave morality. And so the way that we fight against that is this transgressive self creation. So I'm going to take that loss of sacredness and put it in my philosophical pot. Um, Sartre said he was famous for saying existence precedes essence. So that means that we humans exist, and then we have to figure out what we're here for, why we even exist, and we have to make our own meaning. And then we get up to someone like Marx, and he was kind of a whack job, but his main thing was that the whole course of history is you have
Right.
oppressor and
Wait,
oppressed,
rewind.
essentially.
What makes Marx a whack job?
Um, what makes Marx a whack job is that he saw everything in terms of economics and power. He didn't practice what he preached for sure. He never had a job. His he was there's a good evidence that he was sort of a subtle Satanist in certain ways. There's a book about that. Um,
Shit.
anyway,
Satanist?
they didn't use that word, but it's a similar. I think it was Mephistopheles or something like that.
Time
Um,
out real
so
quick. Like, sorry, you're doing great. Is Jeff coming on?
Looks like he's trying.
No,
He's on the screen.
Tim.
He just
Tim, go
has us
ahead. Sorry,
muted,
it
or
looks like
he
Jeff's
doesn't.
trying to
He
come
has
on
his
too.
camera off. Yeah. Thanks for
yeah,
interrupting, Chet. Thank you. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled program now.
My bad. My
thanks.
bad.
I'm
So
just glad
so
his venoms are directed at you today.
so Marx said everything is in terms of economics, right? He was a materialist. Everything's economics, and he viewed the world of economics, where communism comes from, and he saw power as everything. All of history is just wrestling for power. Religion, customs, social contracts and constructs. That's all the people in power are using that power to keep themselves in power. It's like Foursquare when we were kids. Remember that game?
Do.
Yeah.
Foursquare. If you get in square four, you can say, okay, no cherry bombing,
Yep.
no.
Yep.
You can make the rules that keeps you in that square. It's essentially kind of
Yep.
how Marx saw it. So he saw everything as a political conflict. Um, the next ingredient is Freud, where we have um, basically sex is key to human happiness. There's no God, therefore there's no good. So what is good is whatever's most pleasurable. So that's happiness, and that's what sex is. So sex is key to our identity, and to be able to express our sexuality is key to our personhood. Um, So, and then we get to a guy named Gramsci. This is where things get a bit more overtly intentional about um, political action. Gramsci didn't know why nobody listened to Marx because he basically knew what he was talking about. Gramsci realized that it's because the hegemony, or there's too much power consolidated in the ruling class. And so in order to get rid of that, you need to get rid of family, religion, law, education, and the media. You need to take over those pillars, and then the Marxist revolution will come.
Wait, are you sure that's what?
Huh?
Oh, I'm just saying. I have different interpretation of that whole thing. Like,
Of Gramsci?
yeah. So I thought I agree with you saying that it's like a whole like expulsion of everything you're doing. I understand that part, but like education?
Yeah, I mean that's his words, not mine.
No, I know, it's not you. Like
Yeah.
I saw it differently.
No, it's not get rid of it, like get rid of education. It's infiltrate and take it, consume it with Marxist thought. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and then you get to sort of more modern times. You have people like Kimberly Crenshaw, who sort of coined the term intersectionalism, which is, you're familiar with that term. It's intersectionalism is the intersection of all of the ways of your marginalization. So if I'm black, I have basically one point of intersectionalism. If I'm black and female, that's two. If I'm black, female, and gay, that's three.
Take
That
a
kind of
step
thing.
forward. Take a step forward if you had this in your life. And by the way, that's all legit.
Or yeah, so I'm just explaining to you. This is one of the ingredients that I would put in my stew.
Mhm.
And so uh, the and so all when you get all these things together, all these this philosophical train of ideas,
Mm.
um, what you have at the end is this intention to uh, transgress cultural norms and dethrone the incumbent power,
Yep.
and this is done by atomizing individuals. So the intersectionality comes in, and you apply political pressure to normalize, recognize, and celebrate what is raw human material. Like we can be whatever we want to
Mhm.
be. And so the more victim points you have, the more moral high ground you have. So, um, and out of this whole stew, we are served up what we know as diversity, equity, inclusion. This is my take on it. I'm not alone in this. Carl Truman wrote a great book called The Rise and Triumph of the Modern Self. Um, but so I think the reason why I think this is important for us as parents and just as humans is because at its core, DEI and the ideas that come up make it up is fundamentally about what it means to be a human. Secondly, um, it does this by it elevates a victimization and not merit or choice. And so I think that these are important concepts. And um, when we hear DEI and things like that, and we see it in our kids' schools and our workplaces, it's important, I think, to understand where these philosophies come from that make it up. And there might be somebody else who takes a different tack on it, and that's fine. But that's why I think it's important. I think that it's fundamentally rewriting the view of personhood in its source for based on all those things that I mentioned. And I think just as a last um, anecdote, I think sort of the apotheosis of this sort of DEI thought came, I think it was like 2002 or three. Um, it was the same year that Baby It's Cold Outside. Remember that song? It
Sure.
was
Mhm.
being canceled for like objectification of women.
Ridiculous.
And that was the same year that Cardi B's Wet Ass Pussy was Song of the Year.
Yeah,
Now,
That
that,
web.
think
Give me
about
we
that
that.
saw that.
web.
We saw that. We saw that. That comedian pulled that in so well. I
It's a
saw it.
great joke.
It's a great joke. Baby, it's cold outside was canceled.
Wait,
Well,
that was a joke?
I
Well, it
need to,
wasn't a joke, it was an observation.
yeah, it's an observation, but he was
It's like
so
my
good at that.
dad
I
jokes. No
saw
one
that.
laughs at him.
I mean, That's a lot to unpack there.
Also,
Yeah.
As it
first of
pertains to
That
all,
might have
lap
been a little bit.
versus consensual versus non-consensual is a legitimate conversation.
sure
Like,
is.
so
Sure
like
is.
a woman singing songs about her wet ass pussy is one thing.
That's
Like if
consensual.
now I don't happen to think that that's necessarily as like true about
Maybe.
that song, but that's a different conversation.
Have to be a woman singing about her wet ass
Hey,
pussy.
Jeff.
And it was
Jeff!
indeed. It was indeed. And what a
It
woman she
was.
is.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
ask.
absolutely.
Why can't a man have a wet ass pussy?
Oh,
Well,
Well, hey,
I often tell my
great
friends
nowadays
you
you
question.
do.
can.
Great
this is
question.
the DEI conversation, right? According
Yeah.
to that way of thinking, a man can.
Yes,
What's up,
absolutely.
Tim?
So I don't really have any follow up questions. I sort of finished thinking about this before I left work today. However, I mean, I just wanted to. I talked about that in the past. I just wanted to share my view on where these ideas come from, and I think it's important just to realize that they didn't spring out of nowhere in 2015, but they have a lot. It's churned into the soil through all
Yeah.
these ideas that precede us, and we need to think about those.
Yeah. Well said, definitely. That was
I really like the concept of like the current philosophy being built like from the soil or being grown from the soil of previous philosophies grounded. I really like that. That's very well thought out.
yeah.
Well, thanks.
Um, Now,
No.
I mean, as it pertains to DEI and all that, like it's hard for me to argue that again. You have a far greater depth of knowledge as it pertains to philosophy than I do. So, like, it's hard for me to even dabble my toes in that water. Like, I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and I don't know enough about that to have an intelligent conversation about it. Except to say this, I think there is value in. People who do things differently kind of coming together and conversing at any level of whether that be a business entity or whether that be a social structure, whatever the case may be. There's value in contrasting opinions and contrasting or differing experiences coming together to have a dialogue about kind of whether that be a process or whether that be a philosophical conversation. So, like, I mean, if you look at diversity at its core about people from differing stratosphere, whether that be financial, whether that be social, whether that be educational, coming together and have a conversation. I'm for that. And I think that sometimes we can get so siloed in that like our tiny little community, we want what benefits our tiny little community, that we're not able to step outside that and see that there's differing opinions and different experiences that should be conversed about and discussed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think there's a lot of good things that can come from a variety of opinions, and um, I think one of the contentions with something like DEI initiatives is it is an imposed structure rather than a spontaneous structure, rather than something that erupts spontaneously. You requirements for this number of people that has to be hired. I mean, just mathematically, you limit the number of qualified applicants when you do that. And so
Yeah.
I think that's probably more of um, the sticking point with the political imposition of something like this, as opposed to it coming spontaneously, which I agree with you.
The hard part is that people tend to fall back onto what's comfortable for them, right? So like if you're like you're gonna go with what you know and who you're comfortable with, and you're gonna go with some. I feel like that overall, and I don't know what the percentage is, not 100% of the time certainly, but I think a majority of the time people will default to what they're comfortable with, and if a certain demographic has always been the one that is in power or controls something, wouldn't people be more inclined to fall back to that same demographic, thereby limiting the exposure or like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do know what you're saying, but I don't think that's necessarily true, or else entrepreneurship would not be a thing. I mean, that's sort of defined by being uncomfortable and exploring new fields. And so I think it certainly can happen for sure. And if if a particular company or whatever is wise, then it would behoove them to sort of look at different markets and who can this benefit? How can we enter into a mutual agreement or mutual benefit in this way, in a free market kind of way? So I don't think most people sort of on my side of things or the way we view things has an issue with lowercase diversity, lowercase equity, and lowercase inclusion. We just don't like that it's trademarked, essentially. In it, yeah. So, Chet, what do you think about that? You seem to be. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so here. I'm so here.
Okay. So did you seem to not dig some of my thoughts on or your questioning?
No, I don't dig any of your thoughts, but I also respect
That's
you.
not true.
You're,
That's you,
you're,
dude. You dig plenty of his thoughts.
All right.
so while you ask me, it's like he's like, hey, let's make sure you don't leave me alone here. Then I go like hardcore. I go
I did say
hardcore, and he's
that.
like, hey,
And you did go hardcore, man. I'm here for it. I love this side of you, chat.
no,
Like,
you're not. No, you're not. You
I
were
like
like,
being the
hey.
guy that goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're getting a little out there, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
No, truth be, I love you all. But Tim, yeah, I enjoy some of the stuff you read, but Joe can. Let's go back to Nate.
Wait, what?
Let's go back to Nate. Nate sent me Joe Kent, and once he did, we could never go back.
Okay.
Yeah. Geez, Tim put some time into putting his thoughts together and telling us, and that's how you treat him, huh, Chet?
That's cold, man.
That is.
I felt like you just hit me with the folding chair.
Yeah.
Wait, like
Off the top rope, and then
Undertaker,
Stone
Shawn
Cold
Michaels?
stunned him. Stone Cold stunned him, then dropped beer on him, and then gave him the.
I would never do that, Tim. Never.
Frankly, that probably would have hurt less.
Yeah, it probably would have. I think you're right, Wally. I think you're right.
Fine. I'll be the villain.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Welcome to the live stream. We're not live streaming, but we are recording. So, what you say? You already signed a waiver by electronically logging in, so I have all the rights to this.
We're an hour and a half in. Our viewer dropped off about an hour and a half ago.
Jeff, how was your week, Jeff?
Poor bastards.
How was your week, Jeff?
How was my week? Good.
Yeah.
Busy. It's
Busy.
my heavy work time of year.
Yeah, springtime, yeah. Or
Yep.
coming up on spring for you guys. The weather's breaking, so lots of people doing lots of things with their front yards and all that. So yeah, I'd imagine you're busy.
And the backyards too.
Yeah, backyards. Well, we like the backyards too. Those shrubs need to be maintained as well.
Front and back.
That's right, front and back. They're all
Frankly,
entrances.
I'd rather have a nice
They're all
backyard than
entrances.
a nice front yard. I
I
spend
feel
a lot
like-
more time in my backyard.
Am I wrong in thinking this is like an innuendo? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, you're
good.
a pervert.
I'm just making sure.
Quite
The way
often.
Wally was talking about it, I was like,
Get your mind out of the gutter, Tim, and come on down to the sewer.
I don't know. I
genuinely like
forgot
the
what
backyard.
company I'm in. I just,
No, hey, Wally, I know your house. How often do you use your front door versus your side door?
I use the side door mostly.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, during the summer, I open the front door. Yeah, no, I use the side. We come into the garage. Yeah.
Jeff, how's the family? How's everything going at home?
Everything's good.
It's good, man. Thanks for getting on. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Awesome.
We miss you. We miss you. We always we appreciate your opinion.
I haven't seen Tim in friggin' years.
how long's it been, dude?
Let's go.
Yeah, you got your hair is it's long, right? I can't see the back of it.
Yeah.
So, oh man, look at that.
Perfect.
I had
good.
hair that long when I was in college. It was nice and curly. It looked like Jesus. And then I was like, all right, I'm seeing this going away, so I just cut it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
still going.
Nice, dude. Are you in Maine?
No, I'm in northern Mass,
Nice.
but Mass, New
Oh,
Hampshire.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tim, Jeff lives in Massachusetts.
Yes, he does.
It sure does. He sure does.
Why don't you go ahead
Isn't
and
that crazy?
let it? What's his address, Chet?
No,
I'm
no.
just kidding. Don't
I
do
mean,
that.
it's country. It's country.
Hey,
He's got plenty of
hey,
woods around.
I
Yeah,
will
it's
not
a
dox
neutral
this
spot.
man. I will not dox this man.
Well, I mean, again, everyone wants all the information. It's OPSEC, right? Like we understand the difference.
Way to tie that one in.
It
Yeah,
all that is pretty good, Nate. Well done.
that is good. I
Bullshit. It's
know.
bullshit,
I
but
know what
whatever.
I'm doing. I know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm doing. Uh, what do we want to talk about next?
So did I hear Mike Vrabel is having an affair or
Hmm.
something?
Oh
I
Good
think
yeah.
it's
question.
bullshit.
No,
Is
No,
that
I
old
think it's
news?
bullshit.
they were just
Jeff
holding
and I
hands,
interlock fingers all the time. It's a thing friends do. It's a thing friends
just
do.
holding hands, just holding hands. Wally, you want to interlock fingers
Yeah, I
here?
kind of want to interlock fingers with you
Okay,
now.
come on.
Yeah. I don't pass judgment on others when it comes to
Neither do I.
their personal affairs.
Nor do I
I'd
care.
imagine it's in
I don't
poor
care at
taste
all.
for sure. If he's still married, it's in poor taste. It's not an image that I
They're
feel
both
like
still married.
any
What
man wants to
what's
have
the
portrayed for themselves. But
is it like does it have any repercussions like professionally for him?
Consequences?
No, no. I
no,
mean, just from a PR standpoint, I think like as far as like she's a media member, it's not good for like a big corporation like the Patriots to have a person in power that's cheating on his wife. Like that's not good for
Yeah.
business, right?
Well, and
So, but I,
she's been reporting the AJ Brown contract too. So does she have
yeah, I mean,
some inside
she's a
information?
major national reporter.
yeah, he might be
Okay.
taking one for the team, and I'm all about that.
When you look at the rap sheet of some of these NFL players, you're like, yeah, I guess adultery isn't that bad.
No.
You're not choking dogs. You're not
Didn't kill anybody.
killing people.
Bad dude. I mean, again, look at
No
JFK.
chicken fights.
Bad dude, right? But he did some good shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Clinton. I mean, the
it's
history's
in
ripe
poor
with
taste.
our current president. Is not a good dude. He cheated on each one of his wives, subsequently with the next wife.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Before we get off the subject, though, what do we think about the first lady coming forward about saying the Epstein
Wow, isn't
files?
that crazy?
Everyone should be able to testify in front of Congress and the Senate. And
The
how do we
timing of
feel
it.
about the timing and the time? Yeah, the timing and the fact that she's been quiet about it up until now. What do we think about that? Tim, go ahead.
Crazy. Like,
I,
Sorry,
I,
Wally.
I didn't listen to
no,
her.
please.
I didn't listen to her statement that she made. Um, I think it might have been in response just to the persistent nagging of people calling Trump a pedophile and all
Yeah.
these kinds of things. So, um, I don't know. I'm kind of over this Epstein thing. I feel like uh, seems what's we're told is that everything's been released that can be released without open up the names of the victims or people can be hurt by that. And but also, as has been said, when Democrats were in office, they could have released it all. It did not happen. So, I mean, I'm like, okay, well, how much did you really want to know what's in it if you didn't release it when you had the opportunity? And how much of it is just political expedience? And I think there's not a lot there personally. I wish there was actually. I wish that there were a lot of names named because I do think there's a lot of bad dudes, and money corrupts, and sex is the first place it goes to.
Yeah.
I appreciate your attempt to continue to bring it back to a Republican versus Democrat thing. I think it should be like right versus wrong thing. I would also say this: you said you would kind of turn the page on it, and this is kind of my point. It's like I feel like America started to turn the page on a really bad story, and like
Yes.
there was other things like we weren't talking about on a daily basis, and then she comes out and makes a statement like that. in the middle of the like. It doesn't make any sense to me. The timing of it is like, what the fuck? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like the last thing that the Trump administration wants is for us to keep talking about Epstein, unless the Iran's that bad that we got to like, hey, let's go back to talk about Epstein, quick, quick. We're losing over here. The strait's closed. Like this is bad. It doesn't make any sense to me from a timing perspective, and also from a narrative. Like I don't know that she was like innately involved in any of it. She came out and said I was not. Like it's just really weird. Like it makes me wonder kind of what else is going on behind the scenes from a timing perspective, because like it from a timing political perspective, it just makes zero sense for her to say that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Like I said, I've heard podcasts recently and some of the scuttlebutt of that these accusations are still being made, and people just can't get over this. And I mean, one of the things I talk to my students about is conspiracy thinking, like conspiracy theory thought. And I'm not saying that these things don't happen, right? But it makes me wonder, and we were just having a conversation about how far do we let ourselves go down that road before everything is doubt worthy and everything is dubious. And I don't on our side of things, right? You have people like Candace Owens, and you're familiar with her. Yeah. And she's saying things like Charlie Kirk came to her in a dream and told her this or that Erica is culpable of this, or these people are. So it's like, and that's actually getting credence. Like people are, oh, you had a dream? Tell me about this dream. And like, it's like it actually has some kind of explanatory power.
No,
And so once you allow yourself to take the brakes off of conspiracy and you just go down the hill of conspiracy, it's really, really difficult to find any place to stop.
I know, I agree. But the thing I tell my students is follow your instinct. If something seems off, if you feel threatened by something, there might be something there. Also, make sure before you make an accusation, make sure you know.
Yeah. Well, Chet, don't you work with a lot of schizophrenics, and would you apply the same logic to them?
I do, but yes.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
would apply the same logic to them?
So, Tim, I'm more focused on the fact that you said scuttlebutt.
I'm all into 18th
Like,
century nautical terms, man.
I couldn't tell you the last time scuttlebutt came up in my everyday.
Conversationally.
No, but I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah,
I love you, Jeff. I love you,
this
Jeff.
is what you get when you log in. This is what you get,
I think we
man.
should all make an effort to use that word in the coming week. And I want to report back on the context you used it in.
Just showed up for a bit of scuttlebutt this evening.
Oh, maybe we start doing some sort of like word of the day, and then if it's guessed, that's the word of the day. But we need to know the origin. Tell us the origin of scuttlebutt, Tim.
I brought my own.
You hit
I
on
have no
it
idea.
as a
I wish
nautical
I knew.
term.
Currently sitting right
You
next
said
to
it
me
was
is
a
the
nautical
biggest,
term?
fattest dictionary you'll ever see in your life. This thing weighs a ton.
Dude,
Oh,
look
It
it
came
up.
from my grandmother's house. It's one of my prized possessions.
Look it up.
Oh,
You could
Look
murder
up
someone.
scuttlebutt.
Wally in the basement
Look
with
up
the
scuttlebutt.
dictionary.
Well, let's see, Wally, if you're just as
Oh,
fast.
I don't have the right glasses on. I can't see these words.
What?
So,
Just
sorry.
hold it
Too
up to the
small.
camera.
Four glasses.
S. It's got
Tim,
with a K
Tim, I
or a
can't see
C.
things.
Huh?
Scott,
Unless it's right
S-K-U-T-T?
close, I can't see things.
No,
Or
it's
S-C?
SCUTTLE. That's why in The Little Mermaid, the seagull is named Scuttle.
Oh. Oh, yeah?
Because he
Seagull
talks a
is named
lot.
Scuttle.
But
Yeah, it originated in the 19th. Sorry, Wally, I beat you. I beat you to it. Go figure. And I have the proper glasses on. I can. It
Yeah,
originated
I can't see any of these words.
originated in the 19th century. It's a U.S.
let me
Navy
look at my
term.
papers.
as a ship's freshwater cask where soldiers gathered to chat.
Ah,
So it is also
I'm gonna cross
Oh, it
reference that.
applies.
scuttlebutt is again a term for rumor or gossip. So, and then it originated near the water cask. So I'm not really. It is in combination with scuttle, a small hole cut in a desk or a cask,
I need new
which is
glasses.
where the water was on the ship.
I'm sorry for the tangent, guys. I'm sorry.
that's a great tangent.
Yeah, Jeff, we need you. We
Yeah,
need you.
yeah, that
Just
was
a
a
bit of
great tangent.
scuttlebutt going on over
It
here.
was. I'm sorry. Did you did you get to it, Wally? Did you find it in the dictionary?
I gave up. I couldn't differentiate one word from the next. Like I had no chance of reading. I could
What?
see the big
Oh,
words. I could see the big words in the corner. I could make those ones out, but
Why do you
the
have
rest of them.
glasses?
are you sure it's in English?
That's
So I got. So yeah, I got. I don't. I'm not here to be judged. Let me start by saying that. Okay, so I like. I will defend myself in this instance, but don't make it a habit of this. I have my other. I went out and got new computer glasses, and like for computer screen, these are great, and they work really
Okay.
well. But like, I can't read written word on a page with them. I just can't do it. So then I got to put back on these glasses,
Oh,
and
why
I
don't you
need to
get
replace these.
bifocals?
I have
So
no
they
hair.
are these are,
Oh,
but they're
okay.
all scratched to hell, and
Why
I
don't
need
you
to
put
replace
them,
these
Wally?
glasses.
Put them both on.
Listen, I'm done
No,
defending
put them
myself. Let's
both
move
on.
on, boys. Let's move
Like
on.
one and then the other, right on top of each other. Try
No,
it.
Wally, I'm with you. My brother. I have no hair anymore up here. It's
What?
gone. It's
Let me
gone.
see. Put your head down. I can't
You gotta
see.
come closer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks good.
Closer. Closer.
It's
Still
gone.
can't see. You got to get
Not
closer.
gone. I can't. We can't.
Nate, your turn.
My turn? Yeah, there's nothing all the way
No,
around.
it's something different. Oh, but there's nothing to judge. There's nothing to judge. You're perfect.
You guys can judge me as much as you want. I'm here for it.
You're perfect.
I'm not sensitive like Wally.
Are you Judge Judy the
That's bullshit.
executioner?
Chet's the enemy today. You've been attacking Chet
What?
all night. Leave me out of this.
True. Chet, you've been ruthless. You've been a vampire.
Kind of have. I kind of have.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah. Yeah, I've been. All
Joe
right. Do we
Ken will
want
have
to do
that
one
effect
last
on you.
question? Do you want to do one
Yeah.
last question?
Yeah. What do you got?
Or do you have a vibe, Chet, this week? A vibe?
Oh, I sure do. It's called oh, hold on. I got it.
What just happened?
All right. So he's giving us a vibe, but I'm going to go with mine while he's searching
Song of
for
the
it.
week.
I don't know where his phone is. Yeah, song of the week or vibe of the week. I've got
I'm guessing
Home
Smooth Criminal.
Home by Shabuzi.
No,
Home by
Smooth
Shabuzi.
Criminal.
Well, that can be yours. Don't
All right.
yuck my yum. Don't yuck my yum. It can be yours.
I loved your yum.
Oh, I'm glad. There's more where that
Are you
came
hitting
from.
on him?
It's the lighting. I look angelic and
You
majestic
do.
at the
Your
same time.
lighting's much better than mine.
You
Yeah.
do look angelic.
So vibe is Home by Shabuzi and Big X. That's my vibe of the week, song of the week. Chet, what you got?
That I have Arcade by Doug and
Arcade?
Lawrence.
Who?
Doug and Lawrence.
Doug and Lawrence. Our Cave by Doug and
By
Lawrence.
Doug and Lawrence.
All right. Send it on the group chat. We'll get it in there.
Done.
Anybody else got a song that they've been listening to on the regular this week or in the past month? Just to get you in a different mood? No?
Eh.
All right, good talk, y'all. No, you ain't got nothing, Tim? Nothing?
I'll be starting
Well, yeah,
off
I
next
listened
week
to-
singing
Yeah, you're the guy we
Seasons of
count on.
Change.
What?
I'll be starting next week singing
adrenaline,
Seasons of
nothing?
Change.
I was listening to the soundtrack to The Mission with Robert De Niro. Remember that movie?
Yes.
It's
I don't remember that movie.
the soundtrack is beautiful. Gabriel's oboe is the piece, and it just is beautiful. But I listen to
Is it
that a
just a
lot this week.
score? Is it just a score? Like no words,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
orchestra?
Yeah,
Yeah.
send it to us.
Speaking of
Okay.
which, I'm going to be going to an orchestra here within the next month or so. There's a
Oh,
few
nice,
playing up here in the area, so I'm going to partake in the arts.
Oh,
nice. Going by
Yeah,
yourself?
probably. Yeah, probably.
What?
Not taking a little Philly with you?
No, no, not yet. Maybe. Who knows?
Okay.
There's a lot of time between now and then. So,
There is.
all right, I
I
got one more question for y'all.
Oh my God. Dad joke?
Yep, dad joke of the week. Why didn't the astronaut come home to his wife?
Because you need a little space.
Yeah, there you go. Ding, ding, ding. Nice. He needed a little space. Dad joke of the week. Thanks for getting on, y'all. Hopefully we can get back together soon. Love
Jeff, love
y'all.
you.
huh?
I love you. I
Huh?
can't believe you did this. Thank you.
Huh?
Later.